I gotta get my water. Oh. Another gorgeous day here in the hole. Out for a little bike ride. Winter is coming. That's when I do the most cycling. Winter biking in Jackson Hole is amazing. We have hundreds of groomed trails to access in the winter for groomed snow biking. That is just amazing, and it's my favorite time to bike, actually. So I'm just kind of starting to get the legs ready for the bike here in the fall, getting ready for some winter biking and a lot of skiing. So it's good. It's gonna come quick. First week of October. It's beautiful, but usually by the second or third week of November is when we last see the grass. It starts to snow, and it's cold enough for the snow to start to stick, and that's really the last time we'll see grass in the green and in full-on winter. So like I said, it's going to come quick. But I'm often asked, is it proper to use the bike as a form of run training? And I've got 3 strategic times that I use the bike with my athletes as a form or as a tool for run training. And let me first start by saying that the majority of us out there, many viewers, runners, really don't have enough time in their week to run enough to maximize their run ability. Work, family, you know, all that put together, most of us don't have enough time to run enough to maximize our running. So I'm not saying that running or biking is a replacement for running, because again, most of us can do more running to really help our running. But like I mentioned, we can use the bike strategic times and strategic situations as a tool to help our running. And those 3 strategic times are as follows. Number 1 is post-surgery or post-injury, when you're not able to run a lot due to the impact of running, and getting on the bike will allow you to start to work on your cardiovascular system again, and as a way to just maybe condition the legs following surgery, following injury. For example, I have an athlete who is training for the Jungle stage race next year, and she's coming off knee surgery, and we have her on the bike a lot, just allowing her to train, gain some cardiovascular fitness while we're working on building her running. So she's doing both, but her run volume is rather low relative to what we want it to be for the stage race coming next year. So she is able to do more biking, cardiovascular training, and as a form of strength training coming off the rehab of the knee injury. So that's one time where biking can be really a good time to integrate within your running post-surgery, post-injury. Second is what I call a bridge time in our season. My situation is a perfect example. As I'm coming off a big year of running, it's fall, I'm starting to prepare my legs for more biking in the winter, more skiing in the winter, where my athletic endeavors become a little bit more multi-sport in the winter. Running, lots of running, great running, cycling, skiing, and I'm taking this fall time, October, November, as a bridge of adding more biking in to prepare me for more biking in the winter, but as a time to just kind of change it up. I sent a video out last week about shocking the body. I'm shocking the system a little bit with something new. Okay, even though it's specific to what I want to do in the winter, it's still new for my muscles, because unfortunately I didn't do as much biking throughout the summer as I planned or wanted to. So again, this is a shock to the body, shock to the legs while I'm still running high volume. Okay, so a bridge time. I have an athlete in the UK who is coming off a great season, and he does a lot of 100 milers, UTMB, qualifiers, that type of ultra marathoning, and he's in a bridge season as well. He's coming off the season. He still has a lot of time to train. We're giving him a little bit of a break of volume on the running while we work on some speed, so his drop in weekly volume with running, and I'm adding some volume on biking just to give his body something new to challenge, something new to do, form of strength training, which we'll get into in a minute. But again, it's just allows his body a little bit of a break from the running while continuing to strategically still work on something and continue to look for ways to improve for his goals as we start up the big training at the start of the first of the year. Number 3 is strength training. And we're going to kind of break this up in 2 forms. Is one, I will use biking for ultra runners who are training for a very hilly mountainous course for their race, but they may not live in a hilly environment. So we can use the bike as a form of manipulating hills. For example, I may have them bike 2, 3, 4 hours and then get off and run. So now we've used the bike to really tax their legs as a mountain or as a hill might, much more muscular than just cardiovascular stress of flat roads. And then again, they're jumping off the bike and having to run on tired legs. Okay, again, simulating what hills do for us if we lived in a hilly region like I live in. Okay, so the bike can be used as a form of hill training because now you can adjust the resistance and make it a lot harder for the legs with a higher gear. And again, doing interval style, you can really simulate what the fatigue and what the strength adaptations come from in maybe a long hilly run that you're not able to do. Okay, so again, it can be a form to manipulate hills for ultra runners who are not able to train consistently in a hilly environment, or who want to put in more volume or more time than just spending a couple hours on the treadmill. Obviously, jumping on the treadmill is going to be the most specific, but getting out 3, 4, 5 hours on a bike could be a way to really take that to the next level where you don't always want to be on the treadmill that long. Opposite of hills, we can also use the bike as a form of strength training, replacing the weight room. Okay, if we're in the weight room and we're really wanting to improve our force production, which is truly what's most important for run training and improving strength, is improving your force production. How much force, how much power can you provide into the ground to propel yourself forward? That's really, really great way to use the bike, because now we have pedal, shoes that are positioned on our forefoot, which is where our force production happens when running. And now we can use the gears on the bike as a way to manipulate really, really, really high power, high force workouts in interval style. But what the key is that when we use the bike in a heavy high gear, heavy resistance, we're still able to turn over the pedal very, very quickly. And that's what power is. Power is force times speed. Okay, and a lot of times with the flaws of traditional strength training is you just have force and the weight is so heavy, you're not able to move the legs fast enough for it to become power. And that's what the true development comes in with running, is that we want to improve our force production and the quickness or the frequency of applying that force into the ground to go forward, and why cadence is so important and why we want a high cadence. So if we look at the bike, is that we can have high force production and high cadence that you can't replicate in the gym. And again, this is maybe where you're not able to use hills on a frequent basis in your run training. Whereas I have my athletes really use the hills year round to really accomplish this. But the key is that what true force production and power is high resistance, high gearing with constant high level of cadence. And again, that's very, very hard to replicate in the weight room, and where I believe weight training can be not the best form of strength training for running. Okay, so a simple workout on the bike could be the traditional power workout would be two things: doing hard, high resistant efforts of a minute or under, and then on another day you would do maybe 2 or 3 minutes of very, very hard efforts, high resistance, high cadence. Not heavy resistance, low cadence, but high cadence. That's where the power comes in. Okay, and again, this is where we can use the bike. Change it up, change it, you can do this. Two of our 3 examples, you can do this for strength training during your bridge season. Okay, and that's maybe the best way to look at this if you want to start incorporating the bike to change it up to help you running. Okay, so again, full circle, most of us can't run enough to really maximize our run potential. So take that into consideration when you're thinking about using the bike. It's much better if you have the time to run more. But if you don't have hills near you, here's a great way to replicate some of the hill benefits that I'm able to do year round and with most of my athletes with the bike. All right, so again, throw down your questions, and we'll dive into this and see if this is an appropriate direction for you and your running. So bottom line is we want to get you better. All right, over and out, peace. I'm carrying on with my bike around the hood. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.